Hey, good evening, everyone. Evening. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6, adequate notification of this meeting has been provided by advertising in the Record and the Herald News, posting notice in the Board of Education Administration Building, and filing notice with the city clerk to ensure accessibility. Interpreter services are available upon request. Please submit your written request at least 24 hours prior to the board meeting to the school business administrator, Dr. Stephen A. Lewis, at Stephen Lewis, Lewis, at hackensackschools.org. I hereby call to order the regular meeting on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, in the Hackensack High School Media Center at
6:19 p.m.
6:19 p.m. Dr. Lewis, can you please do a roll call?
Trustee Alston Balaputra.
Present.
Trustee Amar Hamza.
Here.
Trustee Carroll. Trustee Gilmore.
Here.
Trustee Jones. Present. Trustee Pringle. Trustee Stein.
Here.
Vice President Martin.
Present.
President Harris.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you. And just for the record, Trustee Carroll is at work and Trustee Pringle is in the middle of traveling. All right, please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Okay. All right. Normally we would do a student report or presentation, but we don't have none tonight. However, we do have two special presentations to recognize our staff here at Hackensack Public Schools. So if Miss Andrea Oates-Parchment would join me at the podium.
Got it, Gina?
Got our photographer.
I got a good angle.
Yeah.
Try it.
She's a community relations.
Mhm, exactly.
Oh.
Good evening, everyone. We are really pleased to recognize special staff today, this evening. We had two incidents where staff responded to emergencies. And we just want to recognize the spirit in which they came to the call. The spirit in which, when I walked in the building of the middle school, there was an issue with a broken pipe and water everywhere, classrooms destroyed, and all I saw workers, custodians, maintenance people wanting to do the best job they could so that they could open the doors for our students and staff. And they did it. There was no complaining. You could see that it was heartfelt. And we really appreciate what you did, getting up early in the morning and led by our head custodian who was supposed to be on vacation and ended up at the school at 4 o'clock in the morning. So we just want to really thank you and acknowledge you for your service. So
with that being said, we would like to acknowledge and recognize you with a certificate. And we have some nice little gift cards as well. And then if you could just stay standing here so that we could take a full picture with you all, okay? And I will try my best to not butcher anyone's name, but it seems like it's pretty easy to me here. All right, I have Paris Wilson. Perfect. Frank Brandt. I hear you. Okay. Francisco Danello. Okay. Gregory Santos. Henry Nass. Thank you. Nafi Slatina. Thank you. Alberto Hugo. Lugo, right? No? Charles Field. Seed the Yark. The Yark. Thank you. Eddie McConnell. Thank you. Arjun Kaplani. Kaplan. Thank you so much. Right. All right, thank you so much. Oh, can you guys just join us all for a picture once again? Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, guys. Need our stage crew here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So we do have one more award. And I'm going to actually I would like to read the email that we received. Okay. So this recognition comes from another staff member who wanted to recognize this administrator who did something in a time of need for one of our students. And before I give any more information, I will read the email that we received regarding it. I hope this email finds you well and that you are managing through the brutally cold winter. Mind you, this was beginning February. I am writing to inform you of a heroic moment that occurred in my classroom last Tuesday, February 3rd. I work in Laura Hertz, MD, ABA classroom at Nellie K. Parker. After students had completed their work, we transitioned to snack time. During this time, Dr. Galliana was making his rounds on the 4th floor and happened to visit our classroom. We encourage our students to greet classroom visitors as it provides valuable opportunities for spontaneous social interaction. While students were eating their snack, one student began choking on an orange. Dr. Galliana responded immediately and calmly performed the Heimlich maneuver, successfully assisting the student. Once the student was resolved and the student was no longer choking, we were able to continue with our afternoon activities. Dr. Galliana's timely presence in our classroom and his quick, composed response will not be forgotten. Because of his decisive and valiant actions, I felt it was important to share this incident with you. Thank you for your time and attention. Sincerely, Francesca Mo, paraprofessional. At this time, we would love to honor Dr. Galliana, principal of Nellie K. Parker School.
Oh, that's gonna be hysterical.
Thank you so much again for our local school heroes. Truly, in a time of need, this is exactly what we love to see, those selfless acts, all for the benefit of our children in Hackensack. At this time, I'll just open the floor if anybody on the board would like to say anything at this moment, since we still have some of our honorees here.
Yeah, I just want to echo all of your comments, President Harris, Acting Superintendent Parchment. Thank you so very much, Dr. Galliana. Thank you so very much to all of our middle school custodians, maintenance staff that jumped in, and really to all of our maintenance staff who have been dealing with this crazy blizzard. We know that you have gone above and beyond, so huge thank you.
Echo that. I echo that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to move on with our agenda items. So now we're going to move into executive session. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education determines it necessary to meet an executive session on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, to discuss legal, personnel, student-related matters, HIB reports, negotiations, and other confidential matters. And be it further resolved that these matters will be made public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Can I have a motion to go into executive?
Make a motion.
Motion by trustee Jones, and a second. Second by trustee Stein. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, the time is 6:31 and we will be out back as soon as we can. Okay, thank you. Okay, good evening. Can I have a motion to reopen to the public, please?
Motion.
Okay, motion by trustee Stein, second by trustee Gilmore. All those in, what did I say? Yeah, I said it correct, right?
Yeah. It's been a long night.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. We are back. It is 7:42. Okay, moving on to the approval of our minutes, which is on page 2 of the agenda. Be it resolved that the Hackensack Board of Education approves the executive session minutes of January 14th, 2026, the regular meeting minutes and executive session minutes of January 21st, 2026, the regular meeting minutes and executive session minutes of January 28th, 2026, and the executive session minutes of February 11th, 2026. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Motion by trustee Jones. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Arma Hemsa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Any abstentions on any of those dates? Okay, moving on. Before we get into our superintendent's report, I do have a few things I would like to state. So the month of February, although it is, as everyone knows, it is known as one of our shortest months. It's also Black History Month. We have been thrown with a lot of phenomenon type of weather. And before the meeting went into executive, we had honored our custodial staff, our maintenance staff for their amazing hard work that they have done, and just, they are always there for our students. They're always there for our buildings, but especially during the time of crisis and in the time of when the weather is just completely unpredictable, where they are at our schools 4 a.m. Sometimes they're there even longer, not going home, finding it very difficult to make it home because they're here making sure that our schools are ready to open for our students. So once again, I just want to thank those amazing custodial staff, maintenance staff that we have here in our schools that prepare our schools ready for all of our students and staff. We also honored our principal at Nellie K. Parker School, which is Dr. Galliano, for his heroic actions, for saving a student and performing the Heimlich maneuver on a child. And, as always, we thank you for being present. We thank you for being there for our students. Also, the Board of Ed, we also received training this past last week. We also received training on the different types of funds and accounts that we have in our finance department. It was extremely informative. It was definitely step 1 in our 10-part series, as Dr. Lewis had stated. So thank you so much for your presentation. It was very helpful, just especially knowing the basics of the funds. I do have an update on the rescinding of the RIFs for our instructional staff. We are still waiting for our notice from the state. We are anticipating for it to come any day now, crossing fingers. And the moment that does happen, we are going to set up a special meeting for that, okay? So, unfortunately, again, our hands are tied, that there is nothing that we can do at this point but wait for that letter. Also, coming up, I'd like to mention there's lots and lots of events, and unfortunately, some of our events had to get postponed due to the weather and just a lot of logistical things that are coming that have been happening. But I do want to shout out Fairmount for their Read Across America program that some of our board members, our city council members were able to attend, our administrators were able to attend and read to our students at Fairmount School. Nellie K. Parker has their Tricky Tray this Friday. If you are available, please show up. It is their very famous Tricky Tray, lots and lots of goodies there. Our Black History Month, which was our Black History Month Assembly, which was supposed to happen tomorrow, is also postponed. And please stay tuned for the next date. Our students have been working very, very hard. They've been practicing, but we wanted to make sure that they were prepared so that they could show us their best selves on stage. On March 4th, the New Jersey School Boards will be hosting the Unsung Hero Award. And for Hackensack, we will be honoring Ashley Carolina Martinez, who is a senior here. And I just wanted to read the description that was written for Ashley. So Ashley, a resilient student who overcame language barriers with humility and grace to achieve academic excellence. Ashley serves as a compassionate advocate for her peers, proving that a bright mind and a kind heart are the ultimate tools for community building. So we look forward to joining Ashley that day on March 4th at the Unsung Hero. Also on March 4th, very, very important for our preschool students, open enrollment begins. So it is open to our Hackensack residents only. Space is limited. Registration is first come, first serve. Opens on Wednesday, March 4th at 10 a.m. Okay, please see our district website for the QR code so that you can fill out the form. It also says students must be 3 or 4 years old by October 1st of 2026. As far as the New Jersey School Boards and us as board members, they'll also be hosting a second annual leadership summit for the Board of Ed president and vice president, which Vice President Martin and myself will be attending. On March 11th, we will be having a special meeting. That special meeting will be about approving the preliminary budget. On March 20th, New Jersey School Boards will also be hosting a women's leadership conference where the majority of the women on the board will be attending as well. I believe that is all for my report, and now I leave it off to our acting superintendent, Ms. Andrea Oates Parchment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The enrollment report as of February 20th, 2026. Good evening, everyone. Our enrollment is 5,068 students, and you can see the breakdown by each school. Residency checks year to date, 24. Residency verified, 8. In-home visits unverified, 16. And students withdrawn to date, 3. For our HIB, we have a total of 2 cases founded, 6 unfounded, for a total of 8, and 6 cases are still pending. And we have 2 cases which had a preliminary determination of not HIB. Some of the things you've already heard mentioned by our board president about preschool registration and also the postponement of the African American Heritage District-wide celebration, and it will be rescheduled. We are pleased to inform you that Jackson Avenue Elementary School has been selected to receive a 2025-2026 Sustainable Jersey grant funded by NJEA in the amount of $10,000. Grant recipients will be publicly announced during a grant announcement event. Congratulations, Jackson. We also want to acknowledge Ramadan and the Lent season and all those who celebrate this season of reflection. And I also had an opportunity yesterday to visit all of the schools after the blizzard. Thank you to our building and grounds director for assisting me. Our custodial staff and maintenance teams did an excellent job to make today's opening a success. And a special thanks to the city of Hackensack for cleaning areas around our school. They were a big help to us. It was definitely a team effort. I even contacted Mayor Gaines because there was one street that I was concerned about, and immediately he had it taken care of, and we're thankful for that. Also, in light of Black History Month, I just want to acknowledge the passing of the Reverend Jesse Jackson. And also, I want to acknowledge Mrs. Sophia Van Ness. She was an administrator, substitute administrator in our district. I don't even want to call her a substitute. She was like part of the team and she passed, and we're saddened by that, but we just wanted to acknowledge her. And I said that each month I would highlight a department. And so this month I want to highlight the culinary classes at the high school. And I just want to read this blurb about the culinary arts at Hackensack High School. It is a career-driven program focusing on cooking principles, technique, work ethic, professionalism, and community service. The program prioritizes maintaining safety and sanitation, conforming to city and state guidelines. The students are responsible for creating food at a professional level and working with equipment that is found in commercial kitchens anywhere in the United States. The 3-year-long culinary program is aligned with Bergen Community College. When a student completes all 3 years of the culinary program, they can receive up to 4 classes of credits through our dual enrollment program with Bergen Community College. The program includes 3 progressive classes: Intro to Culinary Arts, Culinary 2, and Culinary 3, Baking and Pastries. Students advance through each class, gaining skills and responsibilities built upon the basics. Many students move into the post-high school culinary training and eventually into hospitality and food service industries. Each week, the students prepare food based on cultural themes from across the globe using techniques indigenous to those cuisines. The next lunch, or the last lunch, produced on Black history and its representation through Southern United States cuisine. Here's an example now. I hope you're not hungry. Shrimp and sausage gumbo, rice, Creole turkey, corn chowder, bread bowls, mixed greens, salads, Southern style double box lunch, dark chicken, baby back ribs, collard greens, smoked turkey necks, macaroni and cheese, fried jumbo shrimp, mashed potatoes, maple mashed sweet potatoes. So those are just a few. And I know that one of our board members who'll speak to you later had the opportunity to sample some of that delicious food. And so we just want to give a shout out to that department at the high school. And
Yeah.
thank you,
Yeah.
Jeff
Shout them
Pepper,
out.
and the students. And finally, on a personal note, I just want to thank everybody for supporting me and my family during a very difficult time. I want to thank HASA, the Hackensack School, the Hackensack Association of School Administrators, the HEA, colleagues in central office, and so many teachers and staff throughout the district who sent words of encouragement, words of love, words of just support to me and my family. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're gonna move on to public comments. Public participation shall be governed by the following rules. If in person, a participant must sign the sign-in sheet and be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by an announcement of his or her name, municipality of residence, and group affiliation if applicable. 2, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3-minute duration during the public session. 3, all statements, questions, or inquiries shall be directed to the presiding officer, and any questions or inquiries directed by a participant to another board member shall be redirected to the presiding officer, who shall determine if such statement, question, or inquiry shall be addressed by the presiding officer on behalf of the board or by the individual board member. And 4, all board and/or acting superintendent responses to questions or inquiries shall be held until the end of public participation. At this time, the floor is open to anyone in person. Anybody would like to speak?
Good evening, Lisa McVicker,
Good evening.
Director of Bands, Hackensack High School. Good evening to board members, administrators, parents, students, staff. I'm here today to stress the importance of maintaining the instrumental music program at the elementary schools, specifically for 4th graders. Presently, our 2 elementary instrumental music teachers are non-tenured and have received RIF notices. Eliminating them would have a dire effect on the instrumental music program in our district. We often think of elementary music as a time for the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, but there's another basic language that is just as vital for a child's development, yet it doesn't use words, it uses numbers, notes, rhythm, and soul. I'm talking about music. Starting a child on a musical instrument in elementary school isn't just about creating a Mozart, it's about building a better brain and more resilient human being. I'm here today to ask you to find a way to keep the instrumental music program in the elementary schools, allowing students to start in 4th grade. The request is backed by specific peer-reviewed data that demonstrates a unique development of, quote, the golden window. The primary reason to start students in 4th grade is biological. Research led by Dr. Gottfried at Harvard Medical School has shown that children who begin instrumental training before the age of 9, roughly that 4th grade mark, show significantly greater growth in their corpus callosum. This is a bridge of white matter connecting the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It indicates that early start students have 25% larger corpus callosum than their non-musical peers. This physical growth enhances the speed of information transfer between the analytical and creative centers of the brain. Waiting until the 5th grade to begin instruction is when the peak plasticity begins to slow. Just 15 months of instrumental training in early childhood leads to structural changes in their motor cortex, auditory areas, and corpus callosum. A second critical reason is literacy. Superior phonological awareness, the ability to distinguish subtle sound differences. Music training speeds up that maturation of the brain's auditory pathway, making it more efficient at processing sounds. Enhanced speech and noise perception, the ability to focus on a teacher's voice in a noisy classroom environment. Providing this extra year is also scaffolding the most difficult literacy transitions in a child's education. Finally, let's look at the data on retention. Students tracked over a 6-year period. The findings were clear that students who started in the 4th grade reached a threshold of competency earlier than those that made them 30% more likely to continue into high school. Science tells us that playing an instrument is a neurobiological, all these big words, equivalent of a full body workout. While listening to music engages the brain, playing it requires nearly every part of the central nervous system to fire at once. I'm going to skip ahead. Sorry. In closing, I would like to share a quick story. Mr. C, who teaches at one of our elementary schools, was brought up out of all places, my eye exam. The eye exam tech lived in Hackensack, moved to Fair Lawn. Mr. C saw them at a store and asked how the child was doing, if he was still playing the flute, and the child said no, because he moved. Mr. C said, I hope you reconsider and go back and start playing. So when the child got into the car, the child said, Dad, tomorrow I need to see the music teacher, and started playing the flute again because, quote, Mr. C said I should. That was a 4th grade student. If he had waited till 5th grade, there's no guarantee that child would be playing. So please consider Mr. Kubelis and Ms. Duran. Thank you.
Thank
Good evening, everybody. I'm quite sure everybody knows my name. Bridget. I'm here to talk about one of your own who belongs to me, but also belongs to God. He has integrity. He has character. He has been in this district 8 years. He trains kids. He gives kids advice. He coaches. Everybody loves him. He works at the middle school. Everybody loves him. But here we are at this time because of a parent that administrators failed to put her in her place. Basically, a disturbing parent that lied. So that means they take my child, his defamation of character, his integrity, whatever, and then all of a sudden, because her family member can't be held accountable. So tell me, why am I here? Because it's been 3 weeks and I haven't heard nothing and he hasn't heard nothing. So I'm just standing here because where is the leadership? because the board could override the acting superintendent because you only have one employee. One. When you do an investigation, internal, external, and you find nothing, that's a problem. I would be standing here fighting for anybody's child when it comes to their character and their integrity. Because that assassination that just happened 3 weeks ago is the kind of assassination I would say to myself. People called me on the phone and said, Bridget, be calm. Because they already know which way I was going to go. So my thing was, I am looking to get answers to this situation here. You talk about state rules and all that. You don't even follow your own policy. You allowed this person to go to the top without going through the chain of command. No chain of command. Just let's go to the person because I know that person, because I grew up here, because so did he. He's one of your own. Blue and gold. That's all you guys talk about. He's one of your own. But here we have no answer. So tell me how we're going to resolve this. And this should be resolved today. Because I am looking to find resolution because my next thing for her is definitely going to be a lawsuit for defamation of character, for integrity, because that was uncalled for on all levels. And if someone says, how did it land in my lap? You allowed it. You didn't shut it down. You didn't let it go. Chain of command. That's how that should have happened. No one should go to the top before they start at the bottom. No one. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Philip Benanti, Hackensack High School math teacher for 27 years, and the proud parent of a recent Hackensack graduate who played the flute from 4th grade all the way through 12th grade. When my child first picked up the flute in elementary school, it wasn't about college applications or scholarships. It was about curiosity. It was about trying something new. That first year of elementary instrumental music sparked a journey that carried them through concert band, marching band, football games, parades, competitions, and lifelong friendships. As a math teacher, I get to see something fascinating every single year. Music students consistently perform at a high level in math classes. They are often the ones who recognize patterns quickly, who are comfortable with fractions because they've counted rhythms, who understand ratios because they've tuned intervals, and who persist through multi-step problems because they practice a difficult passage dozens of times before getting it right. Think about it. Music is math in motion. Rhythms are fractions. Time signatures are divisions of whole numbers. Scales are patterns. Even marching band drills involve geometry, spacing, and angles on a football field. When students read music, they are constantly calculating, predicting, and adjusting in real time. But beyond the content connections, it's the habits that matter most. Music students learn discipline. They learn that improvement comes from consistent practice. They learn to slow down, isolate a problem measure, and work through it carefully, exactly the same process we use to solve complex equations. There's also something powerful about being part of a band. In a world that often feels individual and competitive, a band only succeeds when students listen to one another. A flute line might seem small on its own, but within the larger ensemble, it matters. Every part matters. Elementary music teaches children that they are both individuals and essential members of a team. And let's not overlook confidence. I watched a shy 4th grader learn to sit up straight, take a deep breath, and begin. That simple act, breathing in and playing out, builds courage. By the time graduation came around, that same student had performed in front of stadium crowds, including MetLife, in marching band, and auditoriums packed with families in concert band. Programs like these don't just create musicians. They create strong math students, disciplined learners, collaborative teammates, and confident young adults. Elementary instrumental music is not an extra. It is not enrichment for a few. It is a foundation. It gives children a place to belong, a reason to practice, and a way to discover strengths that they didn't know they had. As both a teacher and a parent, I can say with certainty, the investment we make in elementary instrumental music pays dividends far beyond the stage and far beyond the math classroom. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in person?
Evening, my name is John Schmarek. I am an alumni of Hackensack High School, 2004, and currently a elementary school instrumental teacher over in Ridgewood Public Schools. Recently heard about the situation here in Hackensack and just want to speak on behalf of the children. As was mentioned before by some of the folks that spoke before me, brain is important, the neuroscience is there, we have all the facts, we have all these things, wonderful. But when you see a kid pick an instrument up for the first time and they open up the case for the first time and they put that thing up to their face and they make this god awful sound, and then it turns into something real. And it turns into something real because not that they stood there and tried to make something happen, it's because they learned perseverance and resilience and the motivation in themselves to do something new they couldn't do before. Same as anything else. But this is not an extra. This is something worth so much more. I can only speak for myself that I started off as this quiet kid who didn't say nothing to nobody. And now I'm a teacher. Now I'm a performer every weekend. This is my life. This is my dream. This is our passion. I think also in a time where we talk about, socio-emotional learning and we have a loneliness epidemic, taking away something that brings community, that brings children together in a time where isolation is just something that's part of the new norm. Right, sitting on the phone, just doing your thing, to bring those kids together, to move forward together, to have friends in a place where when you move from elementary school to middle school, you have a background, you have a people to rely on, something to hold you in a place that's new and foreign and never seen before. This is why music's important. It's not about playing the right notes. It's not about playing the sonata. It's not about learning all the composers. It's about working together and doing something you never knew you could do before. So with that, I hope that it is considered to keep those positions in place. They're imperative, not because it's music or because it's good for your brain, but it's good for us as a people. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Victor from Hackensack. As I was sitting there, I was battling with myself. Should I say something or shouldn't I say something? But I decided I'd get up and say something. We have a mass, why do us Black men in this district always have a problem? Emasculation of Black men. Think about it. What's his name? Each Black person had the dean, the principal. It's always a Black person. What is the problem? Think about it. Why is it always them? We have sat here, I have sat here, and I have watched this emasculation of Black men. It's troubling to me as a Black man. Now, some of you might say, well, ain't no well to this, because if we're trying to be a fair society here in Hackensack, first of all, we need to study the history of Hackensack and how racist Hackensack was or continued to be. You need to get the book. What is it? South, down south, up north. No, read that. Read that book about the races of Hackensack. Enough is enough. We talk about Black History Month. I get offended when you say Black History Month. When our history is American history. There's no America without Black inventors. None. We have invented every damn thing that's needed in this country. So I get offended when people say that. I really do. I hope we can make some changes, and I will be back for some of the changes in the communication to improve Hackensack and definitely improve the school. I want our children to be able to raise their heads high and acknowledge what we have given to this country. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Panayotov, Hackensack High School alumni, current resident and current music teacher for Bergen County Special Services, who also started playing saxophone in the fourth grade. And I don't really want to repeat anything that was already said about keeping the instrumental program at the elementary level in Hackensack. But given everything that was said already, give anything statistical or anything about social emotional learning and regulation, I just wanted to talk to you guys about these fourth graders that are going to be coming into these schools next year. While you guys need to do what you need to do what happened to, make your budget work, these kids from the preschool up to the high school are going to feel those changes. They're going to feel them very hard, and they're going to realize that something is off. Hackensack is in a uniquely beautiful position that there is an inventory of instruments that kids have access to that they don't have access to in other districts. So I would just like to appeal to you guys to allow the kids to keep that sense of normalcy and to allow them to continue to do something that is extremely beneficial, that most of the components are already there. It just needs to be facilitated and staffed. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Holzman. I'm a teacher at Hackensack Middle School. It's been 2 weeks since I last addressed the board regarding the reduction in force, specifically how this will affect the phys ed department. Unless there's a walk-on resolution tonight, which we heard there's no word from the state, the RIF is still very much in effect. And as everything I said last meeting still stands, I'd like to reiterate my message. Despite being told layoffs would be based on performance and cost efficiency, I, as the fourth lowest paid teacher in district with highly effective evaluation scores, have 21 days left before termination. As such, I have no reason, again, to lay low and avoid attention, so I'm here to speak and advocate for physical education as the plan currently is unsustainable. PE classes that are scheduled to start 6 weeks from today at Hackensack Middle School have a workshops ratio of 89 students to a teacher. This number, again, is nearly 3 times the maximum number of students recommended by both the Federal Department of Education and the National American Sport and Physical Education Association. Phys ed classes Surely I don't know as much about class size regulations as the board does, but student to teacher ratio as a result of cuts must have been considered and deemed acceptable before decisions were finalized, especially considering the well-documented history regarding PE class sizing issues at Hackensack Middle School. Yet again, the message being sent here is that PE does not matter. With this change, physical educators are being asked to function not as educators, but crowd control, supervising students who just need somewhere to be until next period, rather than fostering healthy lifestyle habits or a love for exercise. These effects will extend well beyond physical education. Students will have no way to safely or effectively release energy at a time where staff will be stretched thinner than ever before. Students lose meaningful instruction, and families will see long-term consequences in student health, attention, and engagement. We're 21 school days away from the termination of 90 full-time staff members. Repeated assurances of hope are not good enough are not a good enough substitute for a plan that won't hurt the children. Many in the community believe the board is just allowing the clock to run out, so when the state does not respond in time, layoffs still proceed, but the responsibility shifts. Unfortunately, the timeline supports this rumor. The vote to accept city funding occurred 4 weeks ago and required hiring a consultant, yet that consultant was hired 2 weeks after the fact. Obviously, I know this isn't the case, but I wanted to bring it to your attention formally and give you the opportunity to respond. I'd also like to respectfully ask for a clear timeline moving forward to avoid further confusion. Finally, while I appreciate the acknowledgements for speaking at the last week's meeting, my 2 questions did go unanswered. First, with 89 students to a teacher, we severely limit movement space, participation, practice time, and instruction. What does the board expect long-term for student health and Hackensack's athletic reputation? Second, with 89 students to a teacher, physical educators operate at 3 times the recommended maximum for middle school PE. As these cuts were carefully made, deliberate decisions, there must be a plan in place to ensure fair and equitable evaluations for educators dealing with such class sizes. Would you be able to clarify what that plan is here tonight? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, all. My name is Mark Reynolds. I'm a parent of an alumni student that went to your schools. I have 2 children involved in each school system. Both of them were outsiders looking in. They had rough times from time to time, but one thing that saved them was the music program. And it all started at a young age. It all started way back when, third grade, that hilarious recorder. Then we went into fourth grade and they picked up and they started reading and learning about music. I would like you to reconsider about the riffs and try to save what you can. As my kids now, my oldest is 33 and she's a teacher at Fairmount in Fairlawn. And there's time to times she brings back what she went through here and puts it forth in her educational levels now. And it's amazing to see. And it's very, very, very beneficial and very heartwarming to me to know that it started here with the Comets, with the Comet Pride, with the blue and the gold. People don't like to hear that anymore, but it exists to the point where I'm a happy father for my children. My son, Matthew, is now presently at the Passaic County Academy for Police. He was just recently hired by Clifton. He's going through it. Same thing. It's all about music. He listens to it. He learned it. He loves it. But it started at fourth grade. It didn't start in high school. It didn't start by wearing your favorite denim jacket with your airbrushed Van Halen logo on the back. It started by going to people like these people here who have already spoken ahead of me. So please reconsider, take a look, take a harder look. You all are in these seats for a reason. All right. And for being in these seats for a reason, just do the job and just take a relook. Just relook. That's all I'm asking. Because fourth grade starts a lot. And then once they move, then they have to start over. Or once they go to fifth grade, that teacher that takes them on in fifth grade, they don't have, they should already know a note. They don't know a note. Then it becomes to everything of trying to tie in and hope the kid was smart enough in math to understand the B flat is a 1 and this is a 2 and this is a 3. Otherwise, it's all starting from 1, from the beginning again. In closing, also know with the music, they start in fourth grade and they move up, they hit that high school level. They have a chance to become something bigger and better, which is the marching band. The marching band is not just an extra activity. The marching band is the school. You go to a ceremony. Who do you see? You see the band. The band is representing the school. Give the kids a chance. Just please reconsider the riffs. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Anyone else in person?
How we doing, everybody? Appreciate you guys giving me the time to speak here. My name is Mark Perdone.
You can the mic, please. Thank you.
Check. Much better here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for letting me speak here tonight. My name is Mark Perdone, born and raised here in Hackensack. Not only am I a product of the Hackensack District music program, but I've also worked for the music program for many, many years in a couple different capacities. And I'm also currently living out my dream as a music teacher in South Hackensack. I can't really speak to budgets. I can't really speak to solutions, but what I can speak to is the impact that the program had on me. The fulfilling of my dream as a music teacher started in fourth grade, like Mr. Reynolds said. Started off playing the clarinet in fourth grade with Mr. Messino. That instrument would then take me to college. After graduating college, took a couple years, and am now a music teacher. And so I can't speak highly enough about, the impact that the program had on me, had on my entire family. I have 3 siblings. All of them came through the music program. And, we've had such incredible educators such as Mrs. McVicker, Mr. McVicker, plenty of others. And, those are the ones who inspired me to do what I'm doing now. And so I too just urge you and, to reconsider. And like I said, I don't have solutions for you, but I can only speak to what it's meant to me. So thank you.
Anyone else in person that would like to speak? Okay, so the public comment section in person is closed. We're going to move on to Zoom. Anyone on Zoom? Okay.
Hello, Anthony Ziza. I'm a parent of a Parker School student. I had the privilege, with all the snow days and everything, it feels like forever ago, but I had the privilege of going to the Parker winter concert. My son was, fortunate enough to be able to be part of the choral arrangement for the third grade, and as a result, I got to see the performance of the Parker School Band. And I think it's, you've heard a lot about, I think, the academic benefits and sort of people talking about the long-term benefits. And one of the things that really struck me while I was watching the performance is just the joy that the kids have. It's incredible to watch. There must have been 30 to 40 children on that stage performing together, fourth graders. And see, as a teacher, as, a parent, sometimes I find it hard to get two children to get on the same page. And so you watch these young people beginning their journey and the joy as they hear it all come together. And it really is something that I think is easy to say it's just art, but we've heard over and over again tonight the importance of the arts, the significance of it. But what struck me was coming home from the performance. He had performed in the chorus, and he was so excited about the possibility. My son, sorry, was so excited about the possibility of being part of the band next year. He's started taking drum lessons, and he was so excited to have the potential and the possibility of bringing some of what he's learned already to his classmates, to be part of that larger whole. And so it really is, I think, one of the most significant things that we can do to preserve these programs. One of the things that I hear, I'm a Hackensack graduate. One of the things that when, I'm talking to people who I grew up with, the people who I've spent my life with, the things that stick out often, may not be for a lot of people, the academics, the English classes, the history classes, the science classes. But the thing that people still remember, 20, 25 years later, it's the arts. It's those things that we often minimize their importance, because of the data and the scores and the tests. But the thing that ultimately has that impact is the arts. And so I really encourage you and would highly recommend that we continue funding appropriately. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes,
Can
good
you-
evening.
Okay, good evening. My name is Ebony McBride. I teach kindergarten at Fairmount. I'm calling in tonight to speak about the consideration to remove paraeducator support from the kindergarten classrooms. First, I want to say that I truly love what I do. Teaching kindergarten is just not my job. It is my whole heart. I get to watch children learn how to read, how to do math, how to make friends, how to believe in themselves. There's nothing more important than laying that foundation and laying it well. Our district has always spoken about this commitment to providing a high quality education for every child. That commitment matters. It is one of the reasons I am proud to work here. But quality of education for the little ones requires a lot of support. Kindergarten students are our youngest and most vulnerable learners. They're learning how to be in school for the very first time, how to regulate their emotions, how to share space, how to follow routines, and how to advocate for themselves. Many of them are English language learners. Many receive special education services. Some have never been in a structured classroom before. Therefore, paraeducators are not extra. They are essential. They help maintain safety. They support small group instruction. They assist with toileting, de-escalating, and transitions. They allow teachers to differentiate instruction so that students don't fall behind before they even learn how to read. I understand that our district is facing this million dollar deficit, millions of dollars, and I don't envy the weight of those decisions. But I'm asking you to help me understand how removing support from our youngest learners, positions that are already modestly paid, meaningfully solves a deficit of this size. What data supports this decision? What will student to adult ratios look like? How will safety be maintained? How will we uphold our commitment to quality education without adequate support? If we weaken kindergarten, we weaken the entire foundation of our district. The effects will not disappear. They'll surface in reading scores, behavior referrals, increased interventions later on. And we're not just balancing a budget. We are defining our values. If we truly believe in providing quality education for every child, then that belief must start with our youngest learners. Please do not balance the budget on the backs of our youngest learners. Thank you for your time and for your service to our district.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Jackie Alert, and I'm the social emotional learning social worker at Nellie K. Parker School, the greatest school in the world. This is my second time speaking, and I'm very anxious, so I will be speaking very quickly because I know we have a 3-minute timer. But I want to let you know that I'm not speaking tonight as a critic, but mostly as a social worker, a clinician, the former mental health grant co-coordinator, but most importantly as a partner for our teachers and our families, and a witness to the experiences of our children every single day. We recently did a panorama SEL survey, and the results across our district paint a very consistent picture. Across elementary schools, students report challenges with emotional regulation, stress management, and these needs are addressed through daily SEL supports. Middle school students show a decline in sense of belonging and self-efficacy as grade levels increase. High school students report higher levels of academic stress and a need for coping strategies and adult support. These are not numbers in a binder. They are voices and lived experiences reflected in data. When students say that they don't feel supported, we as a system have a responsibility to respond with resources and human capacity. Let me be clear. The SEL and support positions that are under threat, from SEL 504 coordinators to child study team social workers, school counselors, and SAC counselors, we are not extras. They are frontline supports who translate data and provide intervention. We collaborate with teachers to manage dysregulation through a nurtured heart approach, and we stand with students in crisis and our partners with families to build stability. There has been progress in school climate and culture. There have been decreases about HIB across elementary and improvements in our self-assessment scores, but this progress is fragile. Families deserve the transparency. They deserve to know what positions are being cut in order to be clear about what this looks like in practice. For example, who will maintain timely 504 compliance and updates without a SEL team at the the middle school? Who will follow up on attendance? Who will case manage INRS referrals? Who will manage complex social and emotional caseloads? Who will be the anti-bullying specialist? Who will coordinate tier 2 and tier 3 interventions that keep students in school and out of crisis? Partners in the room have emphasized the importance of open communication. Transparency about staffing changes is not a breach of confidentiality. We don't need the names of the staff members that are being cut, more so the positions that are being cut. Transparency is a pledge to families that we are accountable for the children we serve. We cannot talk about prevention while dismantling prevention systems, including the social workers of the SEL team, the child study team, social workers, counselors, and parent outreach coordinators. People are not line items. We cannot talk about belonging while removing the adults who build the belonging, including our teachers in the arts. We cannot talk about student well-being without acknowledging the experience of human support and the backbone of that well-being and the people who support these positions. Families, teachers, and students deserve to know what changes, what remains, and how their needs will be met after June 2026. Thank you so much for letting me speak tonight.
Hello, my name is Pedro Del Vecchio. I just wanted to add my voice to those who called in support of the music program. I'm a parent and also a teacher in the district. All 4 of my children participated in the program, as did I when I was in the Hackensack schools. Music was one of the most exciting and motivating part of their education. One of my children has continued on, and he's currently a musical instrument repair technician as a result of his involvement in the music program in Hackensack. There's a great documentary that I highly recommend. It's called The Last Repair Shop, and it was done about a music shop in Los Angeles that provides musical instruments to disadvantaged students in LA. The film highlights the transformative impact of music in the schools, something we may take for granted because it's just been such a strong program for so many years here in Hackensack. Someone mentioned earlier that we have an advantage because we already own our tremendous inventory of musical instruments. So music is accessible to all of our children starting in 4th grade. It would just be tragic to lose that tremendous asset to our district. It's something definitely worth holding on to and investing. So I hope you'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, public comment section is closed. Before we go on to our committee reports, I just want to reiterate and just thank everyone who came out and spoke about the importance of the music program. I too am an alumni. I too benefited from the music program. Remember using the recorder at 2nd grade was my first introduction of instruments. Miss McVicker was my music teacher, of course, did not age at all. She looks exactly the same. It really is all the components that everyone said is truly the whole child, right? It is what you experience not only in school, but helps you prepare for the real life or the future. Wearing your white shirts and your black slacks during the concert was very prideful, even during the school day. You felt like you were in an elite club that, it really does build character, the program. And, I want to thank everyone who did speak up and in support of it. I hear you. And there's nothing really that I can promise at this point, but you are heard. And as an alumni, I just want to thank you, especially all the alumni that came out as well. In terms of, personnel matters, we can't discuss personnel matters. And there was one comment. I'm not sure, Ms. Oates Parchment, if you are able to answer the question about the ratio, the sizing of the PE classrooms. Were you able to get the full questions? I know there were 2 questions.
We were not able to get the full questions. I need a copy. I'm not sure if you sent
Sure,
it to
if
me.
the gentleman can come and just, if you could give us the questions. then-
And it's going to take a while. That's been an issue with middle school, and because it's not just staffing, it's the fact that we have one gymnasium as well. So there are a lot of issues regarding phys ed. And I also want to say, as I sit here as superintendent, everyone has a rationale for what programs, the social workers, the caseworkers, the phys ed teachers, the music department, the para educators in the kindergarten class, and they are the foundation. And the most disheartening thing about all of this is we do have a deficit. And it's mid-year where we have to undergo RIFs. We hope not, if we can get the information. And so it's not like we don't believe, and it's hard to sit here as a superintendent because the rationale that everyone is sharing about your specific departments is important to us. And we do want to provide education to the whole child. You have to know that that's our wish too. I wish I could just say, yeah, let's hire more teachers, let's do this. But we can't right now, and we're trying to work it out. I do want to say that programs, we haven't even began to address the point of looking at programs. So right now it's not programs. It's just that we have people on the list that may affect programs. So know that we have not even begun to look at programs. give us some time. We hear you, but we're all on the same team to do the best that we could do for our students, all of us. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so we're going to move on to our committee reports and resolutions. And we're going to start with personnel, and the chair of personnel is trustee Amor Hamza.
Thank you, Madam President. The Personnel Committee met, and we have items A1 through A through J for consideration, as well as 2 walk-on resolutions, personnel items D7 and D8 regarding retirement and resignation, and personnel item K, which I will read for you. The board president is hereby authorized to execute a collective bargaining agreement once finalized with the Hackensack Education Association, now including the Hackensack Association of Office Professionals, for the 2025-2026 school year through the 2029-2030 school year, consistent with the terms and conditions of the memorandum of agreement that has been signed by the respective negotiations teams of the parties. So that is step 1 in that process. And I do want to just acknowledge that the Board of Education greatly appreciates and thanks HEA for its patience and for all of its good faith efforts, especially during these challenging times. And so again, Madam President, offering personnel items A1, A through K, including these 2 walk-on resolutions.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion from trustee Amor Hamza. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vice President Martin. Mr. Lewis, can you please do a roll call?
Trustee Austin Balaputra.
Yes to all, abstain from G1.
Trustee Amor Hamza.
Yes to all.
Trustee Gilmore.
Yes to all.
Trustee Jones.
Yes to all.
Trustee Pringle.
Absent.
Trustee Stein.
Yes, to all.
Vice President Martin.
Yes, to all.
President Harris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to policy, and the chair of policy is trustee Pringle, but in her absence, trustee Austin Balaputra will speak.
Thank you, President Harris. On behalf of trustee Pringle, I'm reporting on policy section B. There are no new policy readings for this agenda. So I present policy actions B1 and B2.
Okay, so we have a motion from trustee Austin Balaputra. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Jones. Dr. Lewis, can you please do a roll call?
Trustee Austin Balaputra.
Yes.
Trustee Amor Hamza.
Yes.
Trustee Gilmore.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Stein.
Yes.
Vice President Martin.
Yes.
President Harris.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Did everyone vote?
My apologies. Trustee Gilmore.
Yeah.
You did?
I
Okay,
thought
I think that's
okay.
yeah.
I thought
that's what I thought. Okay,
No.
thank you. Yes.
That only counts one.
Thank you. All right, moving on to curriculum. And again, the chair of curriculum is trustee Pringle, and in her absence, trustee Austin Balaputra will report.
Yes. Curriculum is item C, letter C. I would like to highlight the track, the New Balance indoor track and field high school nationals. We are sending our team of young athletes to Boston, Massachusetts, March 12th to 15th. And the cost will be paid from the high school student activities and athletics account. We're very proud of our track athletes. So I would like to present C1 through 8 through C8 for your consideration.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a motion from trustee Austin Balaputra. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, so that was a second by trustee Amar Hamza. Dr. Lewis, can we please do a roll call?
Trustee Austin Balaputra.
Yes.
Trustee Amar Hamza.
Yes.
Trustee Gilmore.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Stein.
Yes.
Vice President Martin.
Yes.
President Harris.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to finance, and the chair of finance is trustee, trustee Stein.
Marcus already. Yeah, I'd like to offer, under finance, D1 through D10. And really I need to highlight D6, which is having sixth grade camp, for this year, this current school year.
That's exciting. Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second by trustee Amar Hamza. Any discussion? Okay, moving on. Dr. Lewis, roll call, please.
Trustee Austin Balaputra.
Yes to all, but need to abstain from D2.
Trustee Amar Hamza.
Yes to all.
Trustee Gilmore.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Stein.
Yes.
Vice President Martin.
Yes.
President Harris.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Moving on to community relations, and the chair of community relations is trustee Gilmore.
Hi, good evening. I just want to say the Community Relations Committee met last Thursday. And we had the opportunity to have two additional people join us, trustee Stein and Assistant Superintendent Rosemary Marks joined us. And I have to tell you, we have a nice cross-section of the community who is willing to do whatever. And they're just waiting for us to tell them what needs to be done. And we are working through ideas and they cut me off. And we're just waiting to see what would make the most sense to act on first. We have our PTAs at the ready. They are, just willing to help in whatever ways that they can. So we will be meeting again, and hopefully we will have a clear path forward as to what we can ask our community to help us do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and other committees, we did have our joint Board of Ed and city meeting that same week. I feel like the month is really coming into one, mushing into one. The 17th, correct? And the meeting wasn't as long as it usually is, or we didn't get to discuss a lot of meaty stuff, but we definitely just wanted to give an update to the city in terms of where we are at in terms of the rifts and rescinding them, and the same situation that we are in now. We are still waiting for the letter from the state. So that was pretty much what was discussed. Moving on to new business. Do we have new business?
Madam President.
Yes.
We need to call that new business and old business. I just want you to know that I have been working diligently on the charter schools and how they're funded through the local district. My position has been all along that this was created by the state, should be under the state for funding, rather than the 4 million plus that come out of our local taxpayer. So I've not given up. I'm doing some additional research and I will be reporting back.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right. Moving on to our second public comment portion where individuals may address the board on agenda and school matters of community interest for 1 minute. We will open the floor to anyone in person. Anyone in person that would like to speak? Okay, seeing that there are none. In person is closed. Moving on to Zoom. Okay, there are none. Moving on. Moving on to board comments. Okay, and we'll start on this side. Trustee Stein.
Well, I guess I just made my comment.
Stole your own
But
thunder.
we really have to thank our custodial staff for the master job that they did, not only within the schools, but on the grounds outside of the schools to make it safe for our students to come in today. We've been hit with unprecedented snowstorms that one a year fine, but multiple now, where we're relying on our custodial staff to make sure that everybody is safe. The grounds are ready for students and teachers to come in. For our administrators, principals, and the like, that unprecedented again helped to possibly save a life in Dr. Galliana. It's that saying, being in the right place at the right time, where seconds matter. I hope everybody gets home safely, that hopefully your streets are plowed. I know I assisted the DPW. I swept away a lot of snow from the street. And that's it for the evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Trustee Austin Balaputra.
In keeping with the comments about visual and performing arts, I grew up in a household where that was definitely not an option, that we had to learn how to play an instrument or sing something. From both my mother and my father, that was a value. So in terms of some of the visual and performing arts events that we have coming up, we have the art show on Thursday, March 5th, and that's district-wide. Please come out and support all of our budding artists from pre-K to 12. At the Johnson Public Library. I think we begin at 6:30. 6 o'clock. Don't be late. 6 o'clock. There's an opening ceremony, and then we'll be able to walk through gallery to see the work of all of our students. Last year's was awesome, and I expect that this year's will be just as good, if not better. Week after that, Shrek the Musical starts. The high school, Thursday, March 12th through Saturday, March 14th. Get your tickets. The students definitely emphasize that to us, and they expect us to be here. So I hope that as many of us can come out, we'll do so. I wasn't sure I was going to comment on this, but I think I will. Recently, there was an award show where a neurodivergent person had an outburst that was offensive. I'm not going to comment on that part, but as a parent of a child who has outbursts, I'm sometimes hesitant about exposing him to the arts and taking him into spaces where he could be a distraction from those who are on stage. So I wrestle with that. We're going to try it, Shrek the Musical cast, but we're going to sit near and exit because I'm trying to balance making sure that my child has an appreciation for the arts, but also to protect the performers on stage. So just understand that if you see me dip out, that's why. But I think it's important that we all try to, I think music, art, all of those things those are the things that make life worth living. So trying to make sure that we as a society and a community value those things is very important. The other two things I wanted to highlight, the Tricky Tray at Park has already been mentioned. And then we have the Applebee's Pancake Breakfast on Saturday for Fairmount. I'll be traveling this weekend, but I did support come out if you want some pancakes made by the kids at Fairmount. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been to one too. It's really good. Trustee Jones. Oh, yes.
I would like to echo the trustees' comments about the maintenance and custodial staff, as well as the incredible timing and Dr. Galliano saving that child. And since I've been on the board, there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening at once, and it's not all good news. So it's really nice when we're able to highlight stuff like that and what our staff are doing, and obviously stuff that our children are doing all the time. So I think it's really important that we do take that time to talk about that. President Harris had mentioned also about the board accounting meeting that we had. I wanted to thank Dr. Lewis. It was incredibly helpful. It was like a board accounting 101, and it was learning about all the different funds. And it's the first of, I think you said 10 modules, right? So, I mean, that was really, really helpful. That it explained a lot, and it really kind of brought my, I was a bit of a lay person when it came to that. So I know some of you guys have backgrounds in that stuff, but for the school board, then that really helped me a lot. I would like to shout out Superintendent Oates Parchment had spoken about the culinary arts program. I believe it was Chef Carol. So we were at a committee meeting, and everybody kept talking about the cookies that they made. And I later talked to my son about it. He said, "Dad, they're the best cookies you ever had in your life." And then I found out that they do every Friday, you can buy lunch there. I was blown away. So I went down and called ahead first that I was coming down. But I went down and I got lentil soup with short rib. I had a salad with beets and grilled chicken, chocolate covered strawberries, which I was able to bring home, made me very popular with the family. But more importantly, I got to see these kids in action, and it was incredible. I mean, it was like watching a commercial kitchen. I mean, one kid's working a deep fryer, the other ones are making a salad, the other ones are prepping the chicken, the other one, and it was, I mean, seriously, it was, and I know it wasn't like, oh, board members coming, but that's what it was almost like. It was that good, but you could tell that how well oiled the machine was, and it was like, it was incredible. Like we're prepping these kids, like the stuff we're doing for our kids in Hackensack is incredible. And to see it in action was like, I mean, it was beautiful. And to eat it, I mean, I had the lunch, and I didn't know that there was a soul food thing that went on. When was that? This week? Last week? Coming up? This Friday? I will be there on Friday. And I really want to shout out Chef Carol and the kids. It was absolutely incredible. And I will be there. And also, I like to shout out that I did see several Hackensack High School students out there shoveling, which I think is a thing that has been of the past. And it was good to see kids out there making some money. And when I found out what they were making per house, I considered shoveling myself, because they're getting $1.50 for what used to be $20. So God bless them and their entrepreneurial spirit. That's all. Thank you.
Inflation,
firstly.
inflation, we are. Trustee Gilmore.
Good evening. I just want to echo again, the amazing work that the custodians at the middle school did. Sometimes their work goes unnoticed, but we definitely are very appreciative for how they stepped in, and also to the remarkable save from Dr. Galliana. I'm sure words cannot describe how everyone must have felt. Also, thank you to the board trustees for all of the hard work that we continue to do. Acting Superintendent Oates Parchment, for your tireless work. Dr. Lewis, for your training. Like Trustee Jones said, it really helped me a lot just to understand the different funds just by the beginning of the numbers. And lastly, I just want to say how much I truly enjoyed going back to Fairmount with my son and my mother. We participated in the Read Aloud program at Fairmount. And I actually picked his third grade teacher, but I didn't realize it because she got married. Miss Richard was her maiden name, was his third grade teacher. And I think she remembered me. She was like, "Oh, I think I taught your son." I was like, "That's him right there." She was like, "Oh my God." But it was such a full circle moment to go back to Fairmount, which I was a PTA parent. I loved Fairmount. So it was truly a full circle moment for me to go back and share with the kids at Fairmount. So it was truly a wonderful moment that I hope to do again and maybe go to other schools. So that's it. Have a safe night and get home safely. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Arma Hamza.
Yeah, I just really want to reiterate, a lot of what has already been said. A huge thank you to, again, our custodians and maintenance staff for all of your help, not only the first time around when we had that Arctic blast of cold that, really impacted the middle school, but also all of your help in trying to keep our walkways and parking lots clear in this crazy, crazy blizzard. We know that it's also extremely challenging for all of our teachers who have to juggle with, the school closures and delayed openings. And so, we greatly appreciate everything that all of our staff do when the weather does not cooperate, all of our administrators, our secretaries, our maintenance team. And again, a huge thank you to all of our everyday heroes, like Dr. Galliana, who step up when there's some kind of a crazy crisis that comes up. Again, congratulations to Ashley, our unsung hero, who will be able to celebrate next week. And we're lucky in Hackensack in that we get to celebrate a second unsung hero, Chauncey Harris, who also started up in Hackensack as well. And again, to reiterate what Trustee Alston Balaputra mentioned, next week, please attend, the art show. Again, we've heard tonight how important arts are to our students. You'll also get to see the library, which is going through some construction right now to expand and include a new teen space. So that is something that you'll get to see. It's not done yet, but soon. And looking forward to the rescheduled Black History Month assembly at the high school. I also had the chance to see the Black History Month performance by our dance team. They were absolutely fabulous and a great way to kick off the month's celebrations. And also looking forward to the Nellie K. Parker Tricky Tray on Friday, and hopefully I'll be luckier than I was last year. And for anybody who has some time, you may recognize our very own Trustee Gilmore tomorrow, who will be doing an appearance on Good Morning America in the third hour. She and her son, really sharing heart health in this month. So we're really fortunate, despite all of the challenges that our district is facing, to have amazing people who work across the district, who serve the district. And so we have tough choices to make, but we hear everything that folks are saying, and we're really proud of all the hard work that everybody's doing. And I'm looking forward to tasting some of that good food, because I can't be more enthusiastic than Mike.
I'm telling you, come find out.
Yeah, we need to make a commercial
Need
with
the
Mike.
commercial.
I'll do the commercial. I'll do testimony.
Yes.
You better get there before.
I know. So thank you all so much, and stay warm.
Thank you. Vice President Martin.
Yes, I'm not surprised on the way our custodians and maintenance staff operate. I believe they are the one best that we have in the county. They do a wonderful job. As you know, that incident that took place at the middle school, those gentlemen and women were at the middle school 4 a.m, all hands on deck to make sure that our kids got to school safely without their education being interrupted. So again, guys and gals, thank you for your hard work. We do appreciate you. And as you saw today, how we will honor you and keep up the good work. To Mr. Galliana, congratulations. the training that I put into you, it worked. I had to throw that at him when I saw him. He laughed and he said, "Yeah, you're right." But it was said that you have to be there at the right place at the right time. He was doing his job. He was walking the halls. And by walking the halls, doing your job, you run upon situations like that. And that's what that's all about. And that's what our principals, assistant principals, administrators, school monitors, they all do. And that's why our school are the way they are now, safe. And we are proud of you. And again, Mr. Galeana, good job. Thank you for making us look good. I also want to just thank the ones that called in today. And extra thank you to the ones that came out in this weather to voice your opinion. We do hear you. And please continue on coming out. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. I'll be very brief because, just echo. But I just do want to highlight and just say, even though our district is going through a very difficult time that we haven't seen, really ever, it's still nice to highlight and remind ourselves of the amazing things that our district can do, is doing in just many different ways. And from our programs to our school heroes, our students. And it's really good to just remind ourselves that, the schools keep running. Our classes are still in session. We have a full kitchen that is running. We have customers waiting. We have a musical that is coming up. And, to address Trustee Austin Balaputra, I also have a son with special needs, and I'm not sure if our school does this, but other schools that I have seen and I've also attended sensory nights. And sensory nights are a very inclusive opportunity for our special needs population to attend, where it's not as overwhelming, where the lights are a little lower, where if there's loud noises or anything that pops, all of those are out, or it's very, very minimal. And usually it is a dress rehearsal. And usually it's free to the public so that our students with special needs are able to enjoy and use it as a learning experience, right? And that's how I also introduced my son into the plays. And, I have my little bribing things that I still do to keep him in his seat. And he's a very big child, if you've known, 6'1", 6'2", I don't know, hard to hide. So, I would love to see if that's not something that we do in Hackensack. I would definitely love to see more of that inclusion where we do have some sensory nights to include our kids with special needs. Dr. Galeana, I don't think you understand how moving it was to receive that email from Miss Mo, the paraprofessional. And little did I really didn't make the connection at the moment because her name is spelled Meaux. And I just know her as Miss Mo, and I'm thinking M-O. And she was actually my son's para. And my son was actually a student a long time ago in Mrs. Hurt's class. And how valuable and how important it is to show your face to these students. It means a lot. It means a lot. Those children are typically, with their peers all day. Staff they do try to get them out. They are part of the community, but, they have their challenges. And as a parent, I am just extremely grateful that you were there, the right place at the right time, and that Vice President Martin taught you how to do the Heimlich. That's just truly amazing. And I am very, very grateful that you were there. Last but not least, I do want to just shout out, we did have a birthday last week and it was Trustee Emmer Hemsa. Happy birthday. And that is it for me. I hope everyone stays warm. Hopefully there is no more snowstorms, any other things, and that groundhog stops jinxing us with this weather. So at this, spring. We want to make sure everyone goes on their spring break. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion by trustee Stein. Can I have a second? Second by trustee Gilmore. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. The time is 9:07 PM. Thank you all for joining us this evening and have a good one. Bye.